Hello and welcome to the third part of our series of videos on linear multiple regression. For today, I'll walk you through how to write a results section or a simple report for your linear multiple regression results, for your multiple linear regression results. Now, before we continue, I'm inviting everyone to please subscribe to the channel. Only 90% of the people who are watching these videos are subscribed, so I would really appreciate it if you can help me. Likewise, if you can, please like the video as well. Thank you. Okay, so this is a simple results section for our output. So normally I begin the result by reminding the readers what the objective of the study is. So I said here, the objective of the study is to test whether attitude, social norms, and behavioral control can predict academic dishonesty among college students. Second, before reporting the results of the linear multiple regression, we first report the preliminary analysis. So this is the section. So table 1 shows the results of the preliminary analysis. Attitude, social norms, and behavioral control are all positively related to academic dishonesty. So you will notice that I am reporting the statistical values adjacent to the variables that I am mentioning. You will also notice that the reporting of the statistical values are not part of the sentence structure, but rather are presented within parentheses. In reporting these values, it's important to indicate the direction of the relationship, and that's why I said positively related. If possible, you can also even describe the magnitude, such as weak, moderate, or strong. Also notice that in reporting, I still maintain the guideline wherein the non-Greek statistical notations are in italics. So where did I get these values? Of course, I got these values from the table here. So 0.26, 0.32, and 0.48. So if you like, you can also add the p-values here. Oh, that's one thing I forgot to place in the previous video about the tables. I forgot to put the legend. So let's do that here. So there you go. Times New Roman. So 1 asterisk means the p-value is less than 0.05. 2 asterisk, the p-value is less than 0.01. And 3 asterisk means that the p-value is less than 0.001. All right. And then I said, furthermore, the 3 predictors all have positive associations with each other. And I did not report the individual correlation coefficients, but I'm essentially reporting this. So I simply indicated the range. So you will notice here 0.27 to 0.18, and you'll notice that instead of an R, I'm using RS, R's basically plural, referring to multiple Pearson R correlations. Okay, and then let's now go to the report for our table 2, which is the linear multiple regression results. So I said here, table 2 shows the results of the linear multiple regression. So I'm first reporting the model summary. Collectively, the 3 predictors significantly account for 28% of the variance in academic dishonesty. So I said here, significantly account for. Where did I get the 28%? I got that from the adjusted R squared. So 0.28, you convert that into percentage, then you got 28%. And then I got this test of significance for the variance. I got this from here. Okay. And then after reporting the model summary, or the reporting about the collective impact of the predictors on the outcome variable, we now look at the individual contributions. So I said here, looking at their individual unique contributions, attitude, social norms, and behavioral control all positively predict dishonesty. And then as I say, the variables, I include the statistical values, particularly the standardized regression coefficient and the p-value. You will notice that the Greek letter notation is not in italics, but the non-Greek letter notation is in italics. Of course, I'm saying this because all of them are indeed positively predicting academic dishonesty. But hypothetically, if one or two of these are not significant predictors, then the report would be different. Of course, you shouldn't say that they are significantly predicting if they're not. So, for example, if attitude does not significantly predict academic dishonesty, it's only social norms and behavioral control, then I would have said, social norms and behavioral control positively predict academic dishonesty. However, attitude does not predict academic dishonesty. And the manner by which you report these things are contingent to the actual results that are in your table. Okay? So if nothing is significant, then you also have to report that. And then finally, the last thing that I talk about is kind of a concluding sentence, a sentence that describes the result, but in a way that can be understood by somebody who is not very familiar with statistics. And in this final sentence, I normally do not talk about the variables, but instead talk about what the variables actually mean. So in here, I said that these findings suggest that students, and I'm talking about the students now, not only the variables. These findings suggest that students who believe cheating is acceptable, that's pertaining to attitude, think their peers tolerate cheating behaviors, that pertains to social norms, and believe that they can get away with such actions, that's pertaining to perceived behavioral control, are more likely, that's pertaining to the positively predicting aspect, more likely to engage in academic dishonesty. All right. So that is how you write a simple result section for linear multiple regression. So that's it. I hope that you learned something. If you did, please give this video a like. If you haven't subscribed, again, I'm encouraging you to join the 10% who are subscribed. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next.